Well, there we have it. There's a great saying from Wayne Gretzky that goes along the lines of, you miss 100% of the shots you never take. And really, my encouragement being out here, basketball is definitely not my game. You could probably see that from those few shots, but it did take me a few before I landed one, and I know it was pretty close. But I think really the message in that is, it's about encouraging action. It's encouraging taking opportunity. It's encouraging participation. That you've got to put yourself out of your comfort zone. You need to step out into something that might be uncomfortable in order to make those shots. And by that we mean those improvements. Right, I'm back in the office and reflecting on the quote I shared with you outside about taking those opportunities. On Wednesday we held our very first secondary co-curricular fair. And the idea was to ensure that we could show our students in the secondary school all the opportunities that were available to them. We had a wonderful time over lunch, the opportunity for them to sign up and find out when these clubs were held, right from astronomy to robotics to dance to the Natural History Club, our tech team, table tennis, Duke of Edinburgh, you name it, all the sports was out there. But it really is encouraging them to take that shot, that if they don't, they never get the opportunity to miss and they never get the opportunity to learn. I also had the pleasure of forming the debate club again this year alongside the public speaking club. And there's another one where, you know, it often is uncomfortable when you start doing it, and putting yourself out there, especially when it comes to public speaking or debate, is a skill I think that's going to become hugely important in the future. But again, it's encouraging our young adults and the younger students in our school to take the opportunity and step out and participate. I'm going to roll the ball out the way and focus on a few things that happened in the last week and a half. Last Thursday night, thank you to all those parents that came out to our WAPTA AGM. There were elections of new office bearers, and with that came the election of Mr. Dal Jones. He is going to be our new WAPTA president for the year. Congratulations to him. I did share the names of the other office bearers in my newsletter last Friday, but appreciate everyone coming out and look forward to working with WAPTA this year. I'm sure as parents you know, or if you don't, if you are new parents, WAPTA really has kind of three very important purposes. One is their fundraising role, them to help keep tuition as low as possible and fundraise for those extra things we think are necessary to support the learning and the teaching in our school. Then there's the community piece and getting the community together for various events and encouraging that community engagement and feel. And then there's the parent link. The link with all our parents is a hugely important part of that triangle between the student, the school and parents. On Tuesday night, we held our first Board of Governors meeting for the year. Always is a longer one. We reflect on our summer works, both in terms of the facility and all the IT work we've done and the preparation. Obviously, all our new staff arriving and the year kicking off. And we reflect, importantly, on our summer examination results and all the university destinations and ensuring that we understand our flight path and all the pathways on option from age 4 all the way through to age 18. I'm going to finish off today with a reflection on something that's called continuous partial attention. Something that's definitely been on my mind for a while. Done a little bit of reading around it recently and want to share just a few thoughts about it. And to share this from this article I've got, it talks about, you know, in today's fast-paced world where information bombards us from all directions, the concept of multitasking has been ingrained in our lives. I know in my role, my ability to multitask effectively is I'd like to think a big part of the way I get the job done and hopefully successfully done. However, there's a subtle but destructive force lurking beneath the surface, continuous partial attention, or CPA. While multitasking may seem like a useful skill, CPA is the more insidious cousin, quietly eroding our ability to focus for a long period of time, to learn at the right pace, and to achieve in the educational realm. And it got me thinking again how often we kind of see this distraction and our brain having to have this ability to absorb information in so many ways. Even when we look at the news, for instance, you know, there's a ticker running along the bottom. There might be a small picture in the corner and a map and someone talking, and your brain's got to move between the two. Your phone might be buzzing next to you. Someone else might be trying to talk to you, and you're trying to do as well as you can in absorbing the information from the TV, looking at and responding to what your phone might be doing, and then responding to someone else in the room. And it's that kind of situation where your brain doesn't actually do any one of those things as well as it should. And it talks about some strategies that we can encourage with our children to overcome CPA. And I think there's a rocket science, but it's just worth reminding. The first one is what they call single tasking. Quite like that. The idea of encouraging your child to focus on one task at a time, get it finished, avoid distraction, dedicate your full attention to it without things interfering, and as a parent doing your best to ensure that there are those things around that aren't happening. Then there's the idea, which has become more common these days, of a digital detox. Encouraging breaks from digital devices, and in particular social media and the bombardment of news online, to promote a deeper kind of uninterrupted thinking session. In place of student, it might be a work session or a study session. There's environment optimization, where you can create a conducive study environment for your child to work free from distraction, where they know where they come home, there's a spot, leave the phone outside, make sure everything's off. They might get a bite to eat and a cool drink, a glass of water, and then they know that when they get to that particular location, the idea is to optimize the environment as best as possible, and single task to get the job done. And then finally, it's time management. Again, no rocket science, but it helps, again, to encourage your child to focus on a particular time when they do their task. It might be saying, right, between 6 and 7, that's when you do your homework, or you set a time. Maybe it's broken up into smaller chunks, but you allocate dedicated study work time to kind of maximize the focus and minimize the multitasking that has to go on at the same time. Anyway, there's a reflection for this week. Thanks for listening to my Principles blog. I look forward to talking to you next week. Have a good weekend.